um, when he was 3 and graduated from early intervention. When it came time for kindergarten, we didn't feel like he was really developmentally ready for that. I mean, he's always been, I don't know, a little bit behind. Like, he's 12 now, but probably reads more like an 8 or 9-year-old. And that's kind of the trajectory he's been on. So we kept him in preschool for an extra year. And he started kindergarten, and, that all seemed to go okay. Kindergarten, first grade, really up through 4th grade, he was doing okay in school. Although he had, by that time, the high functioning autism diagnosis.
Okay.
And anxiety disorder. It just felt like every year we got into
a new label.
And yeah, pretty
Yay!
much. Yeah. Like, I'm no longer afraid of labels. Like, whatever.
Bring it on. Give me some more services.
Chiquita banana. Put the label on. I don't care. I don't care about labels.
Yeah, I was very against them at the beginning, and then I was, slowly just like, okay, yep, I can accept that.
Right.
Especially the autism spectrum, particularly for Mary Ellen, because that got us a lot of services. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing. You get, it's a gateway to the services, and and especially where we are in our area, we have access to some pretty, excellent doctors and therapists. So
that's good.
Well, I mean, I think, all of us in the Boston area.
Absolutely. You were lucky, yeah. I believe.
Yeah.
I'm great.
I should
say, yeah, really grateful to be in this area.
Yeah.
So he's in school, and you're seeing the seizures and any other manifestations. You said behaviors, and I want to talk about that, I guess. But
yeah. So with the autism diagnosis, he's fairly inflexible, doesn't like change.
Yeah.
Gets fixated on certain topics. But,
what age did you start to be like, okay, these are just,
I'd say probably, again, around 18 months, which I know is pretty typical. It's just a lot of like opening and shutting doors over and over again. He would run in and out of doorways, just like you would be afraid he would die of exhaustion before he would stop. Like, he couldn't stop himself.
Wow.
Running in and out like an automatic door, like in a mall. Like, he would just go back and forth. Couldn't really stop himself. And again, even then, queen of denial here. I'm like, no.
It's funny that you're bringing that up, because now I'm thinking back, like how can I warp my brain around this to make it normal?
Yeah, exactly. He's just a little scientist, right?
Right. He's experimenting.
Yeah. It's funny because my husband and I, like, in so many ways, we have switched gender roles, traditional gender roles. I mean, not only do I work and he's the at-home parent, but I'm the one who's, like, always in denial, and he's the one that's like, no.
Really?
He's like, this, this is autism. And so, we finally, when he was about 2.5, went for his first neuropsych evaluation and got the official diagnosis, which, was, again, just another kick in the gut.
It really is. And I appreciate your even talking about it. I hate to bring these traumatic memories up, but I think it's helpful that,
No, I mean, again, I'm I have this picture in my mind of hopefully all the parents who will be listening, and, I'm sure their stories are very similar and will resonate. And, I think it's
absolutely
helpful to know that you are absolutely not alone in this, that everything that you're feeling, has been felt by everybody else.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, just even connecting with you now, I mean, and talking to the few parents I've talked to so far, there's a lot of similarities, but no two kids are the same. So,
right.
Teasing out the differences, I think, I don't know. It's very interesting. Sadly, but it is kind of interesting, how they're all so different, but
Yeah.
there's a broad general consensus of, what is TSC typical, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
So your husband does most of the interfacing with the docs and taking them to appointments. Is that how it is?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. He's definitely been the hero in the situation. Our plan when we had a child was that we would both work part-time and share in the child care. And that kind of worked until the seizure started and we could no longer put him in daycare because he was sort of in daycare part-time. They didn't want him there with seizures.
Yeah.
So one of us had to go back to work time and one of us had to stay home. And it just because of my salary and my benefits, it just made more sense for me to be the one to have the full-time job. He does do some part-time work for a family business, but it's something he can do from home.
Oh, that's good.
With occasional travel, and then I just take some time off. But yeah, he's done the heavy lifting, and I don't know where we'd be without him.
Well, you both, it's teamwork. You really have to have collaborative mindset, I think. And it sounds like it's interesting to hear that he's the one, because most of the people I talk to, it's the female that's with them. So, and that makes it, probably hard for you too to be at work and to worry about him as well and not be there to see everything. Though maybe that's better. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that, having something else to concentrate on during the day, I can't even be thinking about him because I have to be thinking about what I'm doing here. So, yeah, it is a kind of mental relief, I think.
That's good. So let's see. What would your thinking about moms that are getting the diagnosis, do you have any kind of advice to them? I know you posed this question to me before.
I know. It was so easy when I was the one.
Right.
Oh man, it's tough. I'm going on the Mommies page on Facebook. For anyone who doesn't know, there is a Facebook page for TS Mommies. It's hard to see the people who are newly diagnosed and
really hard.
Yeah, and
I agree. Sometimes I'll go on and I'm just there for like a few minutes and I'll be reading stuff and I'm like, I just can't right now.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. And then I try to force myself.
Yes.
Like how much, did I appreciate the advice, because, you want to hear from people who are a few years down the road,
Yeah. I wish I had listened more.
Yeah.
And been on and I believe I checked out for a while from the whole Facebook thing because it just got to be too much. And, I missed stuff. I missed new information that was coming across because, I think that just because it's so varied and there's so many different professionals involved, like those forums are just a real resource. But they're also, it can be heavy. Gosh. So back to you said to your advice for the new mom. So the Facebook forums.
Advice. Oh man. I mean, I guess I would say don't be so hard on yourself.
That's a good one.
This is hard and, you're doing, it's clear that everyone is doing their absolute best and you're going to deal with some things great and you're going to really screw some things up.
Yeah.
And sometimes you won't even know for years down the road.
Tell me.
But you know what? You're doing your best and give yourself a break. And, just rely on the community, because that's kind of all you can do.
I agree.
Is go to your support, because that's really what's going to help you get through all this. Because I don't know if it gets easier. Maybe.
I think my experience has been it's changed. Like I'm not worrying about the same things that I was worrying about when they were,
right, yeah.
when they were younger. But there's always some new level of fear that has to come across.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good one. I was going to ask you also, as far as working with the doctors and, anybody that is in your network of support, what's the most frustrating thing for you, if you can sum it up, in your interactions? What would be helpful for them to, hear from us in your experience, if you can think of anything off the top of your head? And
I think the clinics, both of them, because we started at one and ended up switching to the other one that's in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
So the sole reason was that the other one was having a clinical trial that we wanted to be part of.
Okay.
And it wasn't because we were unhappy with the first clinic, but I think sometimes they aren't always as responsive as parents would like them to be. And, I'm sure I get it. They're busy. They're probably overwhelmingly busy. But, a parent can definitely feel frustrated when they feel they're not being listened to. And, so my husband, again, is the one who is mostly the one trying to contact the clinics. And my husband is like hyper-verbal. Again, I'm like the silent one, and he's the one who talks, like has to express his feelings every 3 seconds. And
that's more me. That's funny. Yeah.
And he writes these astounding emails that are like 5 pages long, and
gives me so much. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, because I do the same thing, but they're not 5 pages. But I'm always writing like these beautiful emails and grouping everybody in, and he does that
because he feels like this detail may be important. I don't know. So I don't. So I feel like it needs to be in there, but. I'm sure on the other side, a doctor or a nurse looking at this is like, oh my God, So, but on the other hand, my husband deserves a response.
Absolutely.
And sometimes he gets no response. And so that's frustrating. I think that's probably my
lack of response.
My sticking point right there,
Yeah. If you don't, I know. What else was I going to ask you? So, what do you do to blow off steam? Do you have any? Besides, I know we all get on the floor and cry our eyes out, but besides that.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I walk a lot, and I think I told you I'm like obsessed with podcasts, actually.
Yeah.
I just put on my headphones and just go take a long walk. And I like to read, so I just try to, most of it's about just trying to de-stress.
Yeah, like having that time where you don't have to think about it, and you just have to think about something completely different.
Yeah, exactly. Just distracting myself, trying to project myself into other people's problems, so I don't have to worry about myself so much.
And podcasts are good for that.
Yeah, for sure.
What's your favorite? Do you have a favorite?
I listen to a lot of news and politics. Not that that's good at reducing my stress level, but
it's a distraction.
I guess my my guilty pleasure is like true crime.
Oh, really? I have not listened to a true crime podcast.
Yeah, not like grisly stuff, but like this person disappeared 20 years ago, and